Hi friends, it's Michelle Maddox of Sedona Meditation Experiences. Thanks for joining me for Sedona Meditation Adventures. This week I'm out in nature, finally, and I'll just do a panorama so you can see the beautiful landscape where I find myself. Absolutely gorgeous, late summer, still monsoon season, and I'll tell you about what's going on here when I sit down here in a second. So let me get my seat and I'll talk more with you. All right, we've had quite a summer here in Sedona. It started off hot and dry with a forest fire and excessive heat warnings, and it looked like it was going to be one of those summers where our monsoon season just doesn't come around. But surprise, our monsoon season did come around. And now it's kind of late summer. We've had lots of rain and the desert is green. It may not look that way to your eyes if you're not accustomed to seeing the desert, but it is definitely green. So it's really great to see the flowers and the greenery, all the little critters getting a drink and lots of food for them, and the trees hopefully got enough water to keep them going. It was kind of a touch and go situation here. It still is. We've got a lot of trees that have died, and it's a sad thing to see that. These trees have been here for many, many years. They are part of the landscape. And that's what I wanted to share with you today, is the beautiful trees that make up Sedona and really the Colorado Plateau area, which is the Four Corners Southwest, and Sedona is part of that. And the predominant trees in the forest, they call it a forest, and that may seem strange if you're thinking of big forests with arching trees and canopies. You know, we don't have that in the desert, but it is a forest. And the two species of trees that really are predominant throughout the Colorado Plateau are Pinyon and Juniper. And you can see right behind me this big, beautiful pinyon tree. Absolutely gorgeous. Pinyon trees are pine trees, and they have pine cones that produce little nuts, pinyon nuts. And if you are very lucky and you find some pinyon nuts that you can purchase, they are absolutely delicious. And there's sap that some people make salve from. Pinyon salve is really quite good for antimicrobial, so antibacterial, antifungal. If you get a cut and you're out in the desert and you find some pine salve, you can rub it on there as protection. And then the other tree is juniper, and I'm just looking around for the closest juniper. Here, I'll show you. So right behind me you can see pinyon and juniper standing side by side there. And juniper trees are known for their berries. They have the blue berries that gin is made from. And both of these plants provide food for the animals and for humans. In times of desperation, when there was no food for the native peoples, they could and did eat juniper berries, and of course pine nuts are a delicacy. So these trees serve so many purposes, but they really make life on our planet possible. Not just the pinyon and juniper, but trees in general. And I just want to use today's session to honor trees, for all the things that they do for us, for holding the soil in place so that erosion doesn't wash all the soil away. And when you can hold the soil in place, then other plants have what they need, the safety and the space to grow, to take root. And pretty soon you get a whole ecosystem sprout up that attracts different animals, other beings to come and enjoy the shade and the food, and maybe even the moister air in the microenvironment that creates when trees are allowed to take over. Trees also have this amazing underground network of roots, and scientists are really starting to tap into how trees send signals to one another through what's been called the wood wide web. and the soil fungus, the biome of the soil has bacteria and fungus that's able to help send messages from one tree root over to another, so the trees can communicate and share information underground. And what an amazing thought, right? Here we are sitting up on the surface where it's so beautiful, and right underneath us, the trees have this vast network, like a whole nother life going on below them. And then, of course, trees provide food, they provide shelter, in some cases clothing, and they're just really friends to life on this planet. And I wonder sometimes, would we even be able to have the life that we have if trees hadn't paved the way to create the environments conducive for us to live? And here in the desert, nowadays in our modern life, we see these trees as sort of scenery. They're pretty. We're not as immediately, obviously dependent on them, though I'm sure that life does depend on them in ways that we just don't know yet. So honoring the trees today, and just so grateful that the trees here in Sedona in the desert Southwest had a nice wet summer, so they got a good drink, and hopefully that will continue. So let's meditate. One of the other things that trees are amazing for, plants in general, is they have their own energy. There's qualities that they are exuding through their fruits, through their saps, through the pollen that they send out, just through who and what they are. And a lot of these molecules affect us. They smell good, but beyond that, they have qualities that maybe bring clarity of mind or help to bring some cleansing, or whatever the qualities of a particular tree are. So when you're out in nature, walking amongst the trees and the plants, you're literally in this soup of molecules, and it's affecting you. It affects how you feel, how you think. And so I would like to meditate today, with the trees, and just kind of tune into the environment that they've created for us, and so generously share. So wherever you are, maybe you can go and sit in a forested area. If not a forested area, maybe by a tree. And when you're ready, just go ahead and close your eyes. And here comes an airplane, so you're going to hear some rumbling in the background. But go ahead and take a couple of long, slow, deep breaths. Exhaling away your worries and concerns. And gently allowing your breathing to become natural, whatever that means for you. And bring your attention to your breath. The simple act of breathing. Our bodies need oxygen and the slurry of gases that make up our Earth's atmosphere. And our lungs bring that oxygen into our bodies and spread it to every cell. So just become aware of that process, the miracle of breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And allowing the breath to soothe your mind, your emotions, your nervous system. Air is made up of more than just the gases. Air is also made up of life, all of the pollen and molecules that come from the plants, all the bits of life, microscopic, floating through the air. And with each breath, we're turning over the air in our bodies. We're pulling in the air from our surrounding environment, letting it move through us, and then exhaling out what we don't need anymore. And just become aware of the beautiful molecules that the trees share with us. When you consciously breathe and become consciously aware of pulling in this beneficial energy and letting go of energy that no longer serves you, you can really go deeper into your breath. Let it cleanse you. Let it help you become one with your environment, with your surroundings. As you take in bits of the surroundings and then you share what's inside of you, let it become part of the surroundings. Our air is imbued with life force. So we'll meditate here for a few moments with the breath and this beautiful dance of air coming in and leaving our bodies, helping us to become one with the environment. I'm feeling the wind start to pick up, carrying energy from farther away. The wind helps to distribute energy around the region, around the planet. And this beautiful interplay of air, vegetation, life force. So you can start to come on back. Again, feel your chest rising and sinking with each breath. Become aware of your body. And when you're ready to open your eyes, go ahead and do so. It was nice to have the wind. It's like a little confirmation that yes, your breath moves through you just like wind moves through the forest around the planet. So when you come to Sedona, I hope you'll tune into the natural world. There's so much to see and do, but nature is really supreme here. And the Pinyon and Juniper forest is what defines Sedona and the desert Southwest, at least the high desert. And if you do come to Sedona, I'll be happy to take you out to some of my favorite Pinyon and Juniper forest areas, and we can meditate together. I look forward to seeing you again next week, or maybe in person if you're planning to come to Sedona. But until then, be well, my friends. And this is Michelle Maddox saying goodbye for now.